Amanda from the Lightfoot Initiative here. We need you to give feedback on the publicly notified resource consent that covers the NZ Up changes along State Highway 6 and at the BP roundabout. Big ups to the huge team from QLDC, Wakakatahi that's put this together. Like everything, it's not perfect, but it is pretty good. The intent is solid and they're genuinely trying to help us not sit in gridlock for infinity as we approach 2028 and complete system breakdown. And by God, look at the current bus hub. We really need a do-over. There's a focus on health and environment, which should be the basis for all change these days. The intent is to support mode shift in a way that makes it obvious for us to make a non-car choice. We've digested 753 pages to help make you more informed. There's two options in this video. Watch the quick summary of 2 minutes, stop the vid and make a submission by email, or go the full Monty and watch the full extended version. It's your call. Either way, go ahead and send that email. There's 3 pluses. We're not giving you too much detail about these. More traffic lights will help because technology exists to make them sync with each other and they're great for walkers and cyclists. The new bridge across State Highway 6 is probably coming and another crossing is planned to supplement this. This will help with the developments that are imminent in Quail Rise. The change in layout for Hanson's Road and exiting the event centre. I know I'm not the only one who tries to turn right out of the event centre, gives up, goes left and does a loop around the BP roundabout because it's frickin' impossible to get across State Highway 6. Now the roads will be offset and there will be lights, so yeah, people leaving the event centre and Hanson's Road, including cyclists and walkers, can get across. In saying that, there's 4 work-ons. You can see them on the screen. I won't list them off as we'll unpack them later in the video. However, if you're pressed for time, just trust us that these are the main issues and let them inform your feedback. Go ahead and email in your feedback. Use an email rather than the form. It is much easier. And remember, 5 minutes now saves us all time and money in the future. And if you don't give feedback, you can't complain later. Kia ora to those who are stopping now. If you want to stay tuned, hear more in the extended remix. Okay, here we go. Why is this all happening? Essentially, if we don't reduce car movements through the BP roundabout intersection by about 40% at peak hours by 2028, which is coming soon, we will sit in gridlock for infinity. That's what the modelling system is telling the people that make these plans. Making the changes suggested will have lots of positive outcomes as shown here. Wakakatahi have mitigated the negative outcomes of the design, but we still think there's a few work-ons. Okay, a well-designed bus hub is crucial to this plan. We think more thought is needed about this space. You can see some of what's included on the screen. The intent is for local and regional buses, plus other vehicles to move through the hub. Now, Lightfoot want to see a lot more long-haul bus travel, so we need somewhere really decent to have these buses leave from. The provision for passenger waiting at the proposed hub isn't that flash. They mention space for drivers, a kiosk, toilets, but where's the large capacity waiting room and other facilities? It's like there's no vision of what it would mean to have buses heading to Wanaka, Cromwell, Kingston, Invercargill, Glenorchy, Dunedin, Christchurch or even the West Coast every few hours. You exit the airport, catch an autonomous bus or walk to the new bus hub in June, July, August and do what while you're waiting to catch that long haul bus? The noise modelling suggests that there will be 50 people standing around waiting for buses on the platform. Really, what we want to see is hundreds and hundreds of people milling about this big, busy, vibrant mobility hub while they wait a short time for their bus. Short buses, 6 minutes between buses, we'd like to suggest for locals. Obviously, there'll be a longer wait for the long-haul buses. Okay, guys, this is a classic Field of Dreams scenario. If you build it, they will come. Let's raise our expectations a little. Proper waiting facilities are required to make this work. And let's talk about the other elephant in the room, the lack of cycle parking. Yes, it has been mentioned in the planning, but not the large-scale parking that's required to make people feel confident about parking their bikes somewhere safely monitored, well-lit, covered and accessible. We're not talking about parking for 50 bikes. We're talking about parking for hundreds and hundreds of bikes. Has modelling been done to identify what capacity is required? We've roughly done some sums. We think there's a possibility that up to 1,500 people will move through this hub per hour. Over 10 hours, say 8 a.m. to 6 p.m, that's 15,000 people. We're not transport engineers or urban designers. We can't design this for them, but we know that if we don't have it there for people to park, If it's not built, then people can't bike there and safely leave their bikes. It's not rocket science. Okay, naturally, bike parking leads onto bike lanes. We know there's a lot of provision for cycle lanes along State Highway 6. We can see this in the design. It's the green stuff. However, we're still concerned about things like approaching corners where cars and buses have to cross a cycle lane to make a turn. We're a little worried that our flagship area for multimodal transport, that is Te Kirikiri, Frankton, is still just showing that bikes can be there by using paint instead of properly separated cycle lanes. There's lots of ways to make it safe. Let's look overseas for the how-tos. Again, we're not trying to solve this, we're just asking Waka Kotahi to make it as safe as possible for kids and adults to travel by bike. The key message here is, if you wouldn't let your 12-year-old ride it alone, then why ask someone else's to do it? Finally, speed limits. Yes, currently we have a mishmash of different speeds through Frankton, 40 on the side streets, 50, 70, 80, confusing as hell for locals, totally indecipherable for visitors. It's been proposed that this will shift to 50 or 60. Yay, excellent, but come on, let's just make it 50k for that obvious reason. Keep it simple, make it easy for everyone, and go with a consistent and safe lower speed that can be applied everywhere. So go, drop QLDC an email. The last day is Thursday the 9th of March. And remember, these are just our high-level opinions. Feel free to use them or do more reading and research because there's aspects we haven't covered like noise and landscaping. The best news is that the first 400 pages covers pretty much everything, so there's not really that much reading you need to do. So go on, get to it.